So who makes my team of round one? And it's a bit harsh because not everyone has played, but it is officially the end of round one. So let's get into it. I'm going to go through a short list, and any of these players I think would have been in my team of the week, my 15 of the round. And this team is, of course, highly subjective. These are just the players that caught my eye. I'm sure plenty of others played really well, and let me know in the comments which ones you would pick. So first of all, loose head, Oxenche. Seriously impressive. In fact, Unche and Unyukane, you can see are both there. When they came off the bench, they really turned that scrum around. I mean, South Africa were actually struggling against Scotland, and they came on, and turned it around completely. So both of those guys massively in the hunt there. As is Wardy and Antonio, the starters for France, an incredibly powerful scrum for France. Great round the park. I mean, they were really, really strong. And then Ravai of Fiji as well, I think, came off the bench and had a massive impact. Hookers, not a huge amount caught my eye, I'd say. Herring, I thought, played really well for Ireland. Sure, the opposition wasn't the strongest, but he looks like a starter. If Sheehan isn't fit, it looks like Herring. And then Kelleher off the bench is a great fit. His throwing is fantastic. He's very reliable. I mean, he's good round the park. There's nothing wrong with him at all round the park. And I think, he could absolutely start for Ireland in those big games. Jamie George had absolutely one of his best games for England. Hit all his jumpers, worked hard round the park, was really, really fit. He doesn't look like he's in shape, but he always is. So he's definitely in the hunt. Second row wise, I've got 5 there. Franco Mostert, brilliant game for South Africa. Looks much better in the second row than the back row. Can absolutely start for South Africa there. Maro Itoje, one of his best games for England for a long time. Just got stuck into it. Ground out was annoying and didn't give away penalties. That's when he's at his best. Will Rowlands, I thought, stood out for Wales. Really looked up for the fight, got stuck in, made a bucket load of tackles and carries. He absolutely looks at home there, looks a class player. And then young Joe McCarthy of Ireland. Sure, again, against slightly weaker opposition, but he looks ready for the big stage. Maybe he's not going to start in this World Cup in the big games, but I think after the World Cup, he is a big catch for Ireland. And then the captain of Australia, Will Skelton, led by example. I mean, goodness me, who'd have thought he'd have been captain of Australia in the World Cup? Really leading the team. So he's definitely in there. The blind sides, well, Courtney Lawes of England, Peter Steph-Toy, they're the guys that stood out for me. Now, maybe as an England fan, maybe I've got too many England players in here, I don't know, because I was just so thrilled that they actually put on a performance for once. But Lawes definitely in there, captain, leading by example. Peter Steph-Toy's got everything, hasn't he? Offloads, tackles, carries, class act. Not a lot of open sides actually stood out for me. Let me know if some did for you, but maybe a Cross of France would be the one that gets in there. Now, number 8 was a really tricky one. Lots of amazing performances. Jasper Wiese, one of his best for South Africa for ages. So quick and dynamic, really takes the ball up a little bit quicker than Vermeulen does. Bernal was managing to burst off the base of the scrum really well, get in wide channels occasionally. That's when he is at his best. And then Mata of Fiji, goodness me, what an absolute titan he was. Tackles, carries, just an absolute beast to play against. And as was Aldrit. Aldrit, one of his best games for France. Goodness me, he's had so many good games for France. One of those players who's kind of always about an 8 out of 10. Scrum halves, well, Antoine Dupont was phenomenal in every aspect. I think his kicking really stood out in this round. I think it is true to say the balls fly a little bit further, these World Cup balls, but he was pumping it an absolute miles with his box kicks. And then Frank Lamani of Fiji, brilliant game, brilliant service, had loads and loads of attack. He looks absolutely in control of that team. At number 10, obviously we have to mention George Ford, kicked all those drop goals, drove England to that win with a man down. Johnny Sexton, straight back into the team, never skips a beat, absolutely loved it, scored a couple of tries, kicked the goals, he looks $1 million. And the most exciting attacker out of the 3, Jalabert of France, goodness me, amazing, the way he made that try, switching from the open to the blind, so quick, such a danger. Centres, a good day for big centres. Aki, Karevi, Tuolangi all look great. I mean, a while ago it was all about the ball playing centres. The big guys are coming back into it. Aki just looks the best form he's ever been in. Karevi, right back to fitness. It'd taken a while, I think, for him to get back to full fitness from his injury. And Tuolangi just loved getting stuck in. He loves the fight, just loves playing rugby, packing down at flanker as well and helping that dominant scrum for England. Outside centre, George North, brilliant game. made loads of breaks, loads of tackles, fed off Tompkins really well. And then Naikalevu of Fiji, what an absolute phenomenon, amazing try, was always at the centre of everything. I mean, him and Randrandra, absolutely phenomenal players in the centres. On the wings, 2 of 5 for me. Damien Penaud, Josh Adams, they look great, scoring tries, look fired up. Nwanga Tuwezi, I think that's how you say it now. I love this guy, fast becoming my favourite player. So tall, so rangy, amazing in the air, finishing, the lot. He's a real star, I think, of this World Cup already. Curtly Renza, unbelievable player. I mean, him and Colby on either side, and probably he stood out a little bit more, maybe because Colby was marked really well by Darcy Graham actually, but Renza, just an absolute class act. I think those two have to start on the wings for South Africa. And then Ravatumeda as well of Fiji is a beast, goodness me. So quick, so strong, covered so much ground. At 15, 3 players really stood out. Ben Donaldson, a couple of tries, strong running, great kicking. Could he play 15 instead of Kellaway, or do they give him a shot at 10? Yeah, really impressed with him. Ramos of France, yet again, one of the best fullbacks in the world. His kicking is phenomenal, and his counter-attacking is impressive. And Damien Willemse, is he pushing out a LaRue at 15? Wouldn't have thought it before the World Cup maybe, but he's just so dangerous in attack. Better runner, I think, than LaRue. LaRue came on looking a bit miffed not to start, trying to make a point, so great battle between those two. So what would my 15 of the week be? Well, I think it'd be Unche Luced, George Antonio making up the front row, Moster with Will Skelton, Peter Steph-Toy on the blind side, Cross on the open side, Matter, I think, at 8, Dupont at 9, George Ford at 10, Aki and North together in the centres, Penaud, Nwanga Tuwezi and Ramos making the team. Let me know who you'd have shortlisted and picked for your team, I'd love to know. And finally, thank you so much to everyone who is playing the Rugby Analyst and Egg Chasers Fantasy League, over 4,500 players. And goodness me, at number 1 is Better Than Borthers. Good name, and well, maybe you are better than Borthers, leading the way. Harry Mack 8, GM Steele, Naito 89 and 40 Coates make up the top 5. There's me just below halfway, and I thought I'd actually done all right, scored a few tries, but no, you guys are unbelievable. I think I know what I need to do to pick it up, so great fun. Let's see if I can just push up above halfway, because our kind of low goal was to say we want to be top half, myself and Tim from Egg Chasers. But anyway, fantastic stuff there, guys. Keep it going. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Loads more of these World Cup videos to come. Pop a like if you like this video, and yeah, comments below on who would be your team of round 1, and I'll see you next time.